There we go. Okay, 105. What neighborhoods do we have in the building? Y'all can shout it out. Got 147. Where's Lakeshore? No. Where's Glenville? Okay, Eddie? No. We got 5 points in the building. What about Cliffview? 185. All right. We live. Okay. All right, but again, everyone, we are here for community. I repeat, we are here for community. So I'm not going to hold you like my father did his congregation at church before communion. I'm not going to do that. So we're going to go ahead and get right into our first question. And the first question that we have, to figure out who goes first, I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all gonna have to rock, paper, scissors it out or flip a coin. Or y'all can say who wants to go first. Which one? Y'all want to pick a number 1 through 10? Let's do it that way. I'm thinking of a number. What's your number? He's the senior member. You going to yield to your eldest? Okay, you were raised correctly. Here we go. All right, okay. So, first question will be, this is about neighborhood investment and equity. How do you plan to ensure that economic development and neighborhood investments in Ward 8 and 10 benefit longtime residents, not just new business or outside developers?
Well, let me say this. First of all, I want to thank you all for being here, and I want to thank the library for sponsoring this event. I work every day on economic development, whether it be in Ward 8, present Ward 8 on East 185th Street, Waterloo Road, East 200th Street. To me, our neighborhood is comprised of small businesses, which are the lifeblood of our neighborhood. But I am not opposed, and I want to make it clear, for outside people coming in and invest in our neighborhood. We need outside investment. We need money coming into our neighborhood. If you have a viable neighborhood, you have viable businesses. So at the end of the day, I'm pro-business, but I want accountability. I want transparency. I want professional conduct. People know how I feel about businesses that are in our neighborhood that disrespect our neighborhood. I've closed more liquor licenses and more carry-out establishments than anyone in Cleveland City Council because they didn't respect the neighborhood. So I feel very passionate. I'm here to be supportive. I believe in economic development. That's why we're going after these abandoned factories like National Acme and others. And I wrote the letters on GE plant on Ivanhoe Road on 152nd Street. So I'm pro-business. I'm pro-investment. That's the way you maintain a viable neighborhood. And that's why I can only say this. That's why Ward 8 has been one of the most viable neighborhoods on Cleveland's east side. And with new Ward 10, due to the expansion, I want to carry out that same philosophy, that same mentality out to the other sections of our expanded ward.
Thank you. Again, thank you everyone for coming out tonight. Councilman Anthony Hairston, currently serving the 10th Ward of Cleveland City Council. Thank you to our organizers for bringing us all here together. This is our second round here at the Nottingham Branch Library, or Nottingham Branch Library. We were over right here last time in the auditorium. Thank you to the library again for opening your doors. As the question indicated, so let me just tell you a little about what I'm doing here. So currently I should serve as chair of development planning for Cleveland City Council. So one of the main things that we do, we work directly with ED. We work with a lot of the projects and things that are happening across the city of Cleveland, not only in Ward 10. So our leadership extends beyond just the area that we represent on a day-to-day basis, but our leadership extends to other parts across the city. I currently serve as the council representative for the new $50 million Site Readiness Fund for Good Jobs. So what that is an initiative that was created between City Council and the mayor's team. And our goal is to clean 1,000 acres of abandoned industrial commercial sites across the city of Cleveland that we can bring back good paying jobs, organizations to institutions to our community, so that way we can put people back to work. And I'm proud to say that we are helping to lead that. We work closely with the administration, as I indicated, to take that initiative from good but make it great. And I'm happy to say that we have many projects that's in the pipeline now, and we expect to have other organizations and other folks moving to our community pretty soon. Council gets what is called discretionary dollars. And so one of our pots of funds is called NEF dollars. So each council member gets $600,000 in NEF dollars. And so of the $600,000 that City Council received this year, $400,000 of that has went to support small businesses right in our neighborhood. And so not only are we just talking about how we need to support small businesses and those who are doing work in our community, but we're putting our money where our mouth is. and we're actually taking our dollars and we're supporting local businesses. And many of them live in our neighborhood, right? Many of them have been in our neighborhood for so many years, and we're taking that money, we're reinvesting it back into the people who's been the backbone of many of our commercial corridors here in the city of Cleveland.
Thank you, Councilman. Now we want to open it up to the audience. Do we have any questions? If you do have a question, please step to, you know what, I'm gonna just bring you the microphone, because I don't, Brian, can we just double check to see if this one, is it live?
Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Kimberly Jordan. I'm with Building Freedom, Ohio. And I am wondering, how do you all feel about collateral sanction?
Oh, no, your question is what they just said.
Okay.
Answer that question.
Okay.
Hold that question for the next round when the people.
Okay. So my question is, when you speak about building and building back into the community, how long are your terms for this? And there are so many homeless people out here. And what are y'all views on cleaning up to ensure that they have a safe place? Because it's becoming a major problem.
Is that related to putting them to work or getting the homeless folks jobs, or just are you asking about housing?
You said that you are cleaning up the community, right?
Right.
Aren't they a part of the community? The homelessness?
Absolutely. So I'll take a crack at it. So one of the initiatives that City Council together has done, along with the mayor, is created every home for our neighbor initiative. And that is an initiative that was put together between the council and administration. And that is where we take dollars, not county dollars that we get through the votes that we all cast, but we took city dollars, city general fund dollars, and worked to be able to house individuals who are facing homelessness. And so council has a representative that sits on the board of the Cobb County Homeless Initiative Board. Just don't quote me with the exact name. And we work closely with administration, and that program, I can say, has really been very helpful of getting folks into homes. Now, granted, there are individuals at times that we are not able to help, but we find other ways, other resources to help those who may need it, who may be facing homelessness. Hope that answers part of the question of what we've been doing thus far.
Well, I just concur with what we've already done in council, and I think that specifically in this neighborhood, well, when we run across homeless people, we try to do everything we can to plug them into social services, especially on the county level. But the original question was about economic development and neighborhood equity. So I just wanted to respond to that. That was the question. We are working very hard in this neighborhood. We purchased the days. I put the money up to purchase the Dates project. We control the Ponderosa property on Lakeshore Boulevard. We are about to make a major announcement shortly on that property with a major developer because council does not hire, we do not fire, we do not deploy, we don't administer. So we have to work with the administration for economic development projects. So all I can tell you is when we look at our neighborhoods, we talk about equity, we talk about investment. We're going to do that here. We're doing it. We've demonstrated that before in right next door, right here. We're creating a 150-acre park, which is going to have a big economic impact on this community. But from the standpoint of going back to what was said earlier, I think we're doing everything we can to address the homeless problem. We have people who will not go into shelters. They won't go in, and we can't force them to do that. I think we've been proactive. That's all I can tell you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to come up here. Remember, the focus of this question is equity, gentrification, and community inclusion. Please have your questions surrounded around that. And I see you, and I see the person.
Hi, my name is Elaine Kimes. I reside at 1947 Rayburn. My question is to you, Mr. Harrison. In the 8 years you've been there, can you tell me what you feel or what substantial things that you have impacted on Ward 10? Because I haven't seen it.
That has to be the question. It's a great question, but that's a question that we can ask during the second portion. That's it. That just be questions.
I understand.
Question. It's hot. You got the mic hot. I do need the mic back. Okay, all right. We know. Is there anyone else who wants to have a rebuttal for the first question that was asked? So
The first question that we asked about equity, inclusion, and community development. Yes, that is a part of the question. But
Yeah, this is a question for you, my brother. When you say reinvesting back in the neighborhood and the small businesses, so like there's been small businesses like Open Pit. Is there a way that we can get that money? You said $600,000 a year to reinvest in small business. I'm concerned with that property, and if there's can be some more reinvestment in what happened to it.
Sure, well, my funds can only be used at properties that actually are located in my ward, and unfortunately that property is not located in my ward. But as I indicated, we have taken this year alone, have taken $400 of the $600,000 we received from net funds and reinvested it back into small businesses right in our neighborhood. On Nottingham Road, now you have this what we call Piece of Cleveland, that once was a vacant and abandoned building that sat for decades before I took over. That was once a part of the old Ward 11. And we came in, we worked with that gentleman who has purchased that property, has since created a state-of-the-art showroom. He was featured on Fox 8 News for the furniture he makes out of live edge wood and the work that he's doing with our young people in our neighborhood. The Goodwill Outlet Center is a place on St. Clair where the old Cleveland Range building once sat vacant for decades as well, in the same neighborhood. We celebrated the opening of not only the Goodwill Outlet, but also the Job Opportunity Center. And that Job Opportunity Center is there to help individuals who need assistance with finding jobs and careers right in our neighborhood. So I'm proud to say that those are 2 and 3 things in that neighborhood alone that we've been able to achieve as relates to economic inclusion and stability in that neighborhood.
Okay, well, if that's not your concern, and not in your ward, I apologize.
Thank you, Mr. King.
All right.
Okay, we have one more question, you all, and then we have to move on. Don't feel bad, you can still ask that question when it is the Q&A for the audience. Excuse me, stop.
Good evening, my name is Ariana Johnson. I'm a behavioral case manager and I grew up in Ward 10. The question that I have for these council members is, in an effort to negate barriers such as gentrification and then also create like a balance of bringing welcome businesses into the neighborhood, how are you going to keep the lines of communication open between you all and the your constituency?
Okay, I'll respond to that. The only thing I can tell you is when someone approaches me, small businesses, I either visit them firsthand, go talk with them, go sit down, plug them in the economic development department of the city, just like I'm working on now at a whole host of businesses in the neighborhood right now, and do everything I can to help them. One of the challenges that small businesses have, they don't have a whole band of accountants and attorneys to help them. So they have to reach out to us on an individual basis, and I'm very aggressive on that. That's why I've been working, whether it be the businesses on 200th Street, Lakeshore Boulevard, Waterloo Road. I go out of my way to assist them because, again, when you look at Ward 8, present Ward 8, that's where the bulk of businesses are at. It's small businesses, and I do everything I can to assist them. I'm very fortunate of the successes that we've had in the neighborhood, and I'd like to expand that throughout Ward 10. There's a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do on the northeast side, but all the opportunities and the potential is there to assist. If you have a small business, come on in. We welcome you. Our doors are open. We want you to invest in our neighborhood. That's what it's all about. But the other side of it, we all have to support our own small businesses because many of them are struggling. I will tell you, since COVID, since we had COVID, since 2020, many of the small businesses that are affected. I just want to comment back on the question. The open pit business, the location is in my neighborhood. Let's be very blunt about that. Look, but my colleague, that's his business. That's his operation. It's not, he owns the open pit. I don't. That's physically located in our neighborhood, but that is a private business. And that's all I can tell you on that one.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we're going to move on to the second question because I want to continue to save room for you all's questions, okay? So the second question that we have, this is about public safety and community trust. What is your vision for improving public safety in our neighborhoods in a way that also builds trust between residents, law enforcement, and community-based organizations? Hairston, you can answer that first.
Thank you. Well, it's no secret that over the years we've had issues as relates to the engagement between police and community. Fortunately over the years, some places have gotten better, some places has not gotten better. But I'm proud to say, before with our CDC, we had not had real interactions in the neighborhood between residents and police, except for, there's programs that maybe they have, or the safety fair, or other things that they were hosting in the neighborhood. But we got together with one of our organizers from our CDC in the past. This one we had a different 5th District rep, Mr. Reynolds was rep at that time. And so we had revived the coffee with cops. We had revived the kickball with cops. We would hold our sessions over at the Humphrey Park, right behind where we are, right across the road where we are today. And so I'm proud of that, because that was able to bring people together, right? It was able to take down the barriers, break down the walls that exist between community and police. Make no mistake about it, we need the police, right? I know we all have our own, thoughts or concerns or suggestions. We need the police, because when something happens, who's the first person we call? 911. And so it is important that we work together, hand in hand, to try to, bring us together, right? Again, break down the walls, because we have more in common than we do apart. And so I can say that that's something that we were able to do in our neighborhood. One of the things that we want to do to strengthen the community relations, the police relations in our community, is continue to have more engagement. That's why my office, we work a lot throughout the years to host different events with the police department. For example, we have the Halloween event coming up on the 31st. We work with them each and every year. We've been in office to host that event. Whether it is supporting their pancake breakfast or their spaghetti dinners and other things in the community, we've done that. And we want to continue some of that work that we've started. If elected again in November, we want to do more with a co-responder unit for Ward 10. And so I would like to take funds in Ward 10 and launch a co-responder unit just for our neighborhood. And that unit will be made up of a crisis intervention specialist, along with a peace officer, together to respond to issues that we have in our neighborhood. That they can be proactive. They can, go out and work our streets when we're all sleeping at home, right? They can be visible. They can identify that problem red car that speeds up and down that street that causes problems every Friday and Saturday night. And they know that house that's a party house that's happening in the neighborhood. That's every Thursday they get together, right? They can do that proactive work for us in our neighborhood without being, targeting individuals, right? And I believe that unit can build relationships. Like we have our community engagement officers for the neighborhood, with that unit can build relationships with us in the community. So that is one way we want to enhance the engagement in the neighborhood with our police officers.
Thank you, Councilman Hairston. Okay, so the floor is going to open. Do we have any rebuttals to what they just said? And again, this is about community policing.
Did I respond to that?
You didn't? No. Just making sure y'all paying attention. You see what I did there? That's called an accountability check.
I thought you skipped me there.
No, I didn't. I had to make sure that they were awake and they were paying attention.
Let me respond, because public safety is a real issue with me as chairman of public safety for Cleveland City Council. We have crisis intervention programs right now within the city. We have violence interrupters that we fund through the city. I'm very aggressive on law enforcement, everybody knows. I go to people's houses, I write the letters to the kids, I ask to sit down with the juveniles. At every one of our neighborhood meetings, we have the police officers at our neighborhood meetings. So we look upon our police as partners. We're involved in this. We got to care about our men and women in blue. It's about transparency. It's about professional conduct, accountability. That's what it's all about. That's why I fought for the body cam. That's why I fought for the dash cams in the police cars, which I sponsored that. So those citizens who had concerns about how they were being treated, now the cameras don't lie. That's what people want. They want professional conduct. We have a lot of work to do in the area of public safety in the city. We're down from what we were in 2000, around 700 police officers. Think about that. There are a couple retired police officers in attendance here. We got a lot of work, but I'm going to say this as well. We need parents to be engaged with their kids.
Amen.
When we got 12 and 13-year-old kids running the streets in the middle of the night, as we just saw with all these car breakage, you got to ask yourself, wait a minute, well, you don't notice your 12 and 13-year-old is not in bed in the middle of the night? So we got to quit making excuses. There's got to be accountability. I sent out the letters. I do the visitations. I do everything I can to reach out to help kids and help families. But at the end of the day, we're gonna turn the corner in some of these neighborhoods. We need parents who are gonna stand up and be accountable. We need citizens that can see something, say something. If we think we're gonna rely just on the Cleveland Police Department to resolve our problems, I got news for you, it's not gonna happen. The community, it takes a village to protect and maintain a neighborhood. And that's what we do in Ward 8, and that's why Ward 8 has one of the lowest crime rates in the city of Cleveland.
Thank you very much.
All right, okay, I see one hand right there. See another hand. We're going to get some different voices. I'll be circled to you in just a second. I'm going to circle her and then I'm going to circle back to you, okay?
My name is Donna Norris. I've been a resident in both wards, in Ward 8. I wanted to ask the question, what kind of activities you get involved, get the community involved? You want, both have stated that you want the community more involved, but what does that look like? Long time ago, we used to have neighborhood watches, communities where we were actively involved, block parties and things like that to bring us together. Right now, there's not anything that engages all ages of the community, so that way we can become one.
Great question. Great question.
Yeah, one last. Sure. No, thank you for that. And as I indicated earlier, you know, my office, not waiting on anyone else, my office has multiple times during the year have tried to host several events throughout the years, whether we are going into the schools and taking the Easter Bunny and providing free pictures for the students in the community in those schools, whether it is the Glenville Festival that we have put together every year since I've been in the office here in Ward 10, whether it is most recently our Sunday Fun Day when we closed down 152nd Street and had everything for youth, for our middle generation, our seniors, those who enjoy gospel, those who enjoy hip hop, those who enjoy R&B. Recently, every year we host our Family Fun Day, where we give away over 500 book bags to families and their youth. Each year we hold a special day for seniors, not the senior day that the city of Cleveland has as a whole, but Ward 10 every year has held our own senior day that we recognize and we support seniors from our community in Ward 10. And so, again, we are, in my opinion, doing a lot to engage the neighborhood and bring people together, because the goal is to get people out of their homes, right? You should know your neighbors on your street. You should know who lives next door to you, right? There's so many times that I visit residents' homes, right, and have conversations and they can't tell me who lives next door to them. That's a problem, because when I grew up, I knew everybody on my street, the next street, and the street after that, right? And that's how we build community. That's how we get our neighborhoods back to the place where they once were. And each year, again, we try to do more and more, and we're going to continue to do that as we move into 2026.
Thank you. You know what, let me just say this, in Ward 8, right now we have 21 neighborhood organizations, active neighborhood organizations. And I know because I attend most of their meetings when invited. I do the mailing for many of those street clubs. So I would say everybody in this gathering today, whatever street you live on or whatever neighborhood you live in, get involved. Well, we have Ms. Thorler Houston here from East 156th Street Neighborhood Association. I see members from the East 185th Street Neighborhood Association, former members of the Nottingham Civic Club, and I know that because I was the 3-term president of that in the day, and that club fell by the wayside. The Euclid Park Civic Club fell by the wayside. One of my goals is to restart the Nottingham Civic Club, restart the Euclid Park Civic Club. We need strong neighborhood organizations. You show me a neighborhood or a street that looks good, and I'll show you a neighborhood where people are engaged. Get involved in your block club if you have one. We have different groups in the neighborhood in Ward 8. You can reach out, I can tell you can tell me where you live, I'll tell you what neighborhood group you can get involved in. We want you to be involved. You have a right to be able to ask questions at neighborhood meetings. I go to all those neighborhood meetings. We have the police there. We have other city officials there. I sponsor the Waterloo Arts Festival. That's my Class A event I sponsor every year. Again, I'm looking at all the events that we do, whether it be at the rec center, whether it be at the libraries, whether it be in our community groups and organizations. We're very pro-neighborhood in Ward 8, but my brothers and sisters, I can't force people to come to neighborhood meetings. I can't force you to become engaged. you know, a lot of people, for some reason or another, they don't want to get engaged. They don't want to participate. Why? I don't know. It was driven into me when I was a kid growing up in this neighborhood by my mother, who was a street captain on Clearer Road in the Nottingham Civic Club neighborhood. You get involved. You care what goes on in your neighborhood, and that's how you keep a good neighborhood. That's how you protect your kids, how you protect your neighbors. That's what we do here now, and I'm very proud of the fact. And I want to thank all the neighborhood leaders that are here for your engagement. That's why Ward 8 is one of the better places to live presently in the city of Cleveland. I want to take that same message throughout the new Ward 10.
Ms. Elliott? Thank you. A quick 30 seconds. Just as a follow-up to the question, you know, I often hear about Nottingham Civic Club went by the wayside. I hear Euclid Park and the Civic Club went by the wayside. But see, that's the problem. We get stuck in what has always been done in the past, right? And while we don't continue to have people who stay engaged because it's the same old thing after time, right? And so as we journey through life, as we move forward, right? As the world changes around us, we have to change. Because if we stay stuck with the same leadership, the same style from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, we're gonna get anywhere. We're gonna continue to be flatlined. And so we have to change the way we engage individuals as the times has changed. And so when there was that generation that held down the civic clubs in our community, that's not the same level of engagement that our 20 and 30-year-olds want to be a part of now. That has changed. And so part of it is we have to really engage more of the 20 and the 30-year-olds like myself, right? About how in the way that they want to be involved and want to be engaged. Those things work for the 40s and the 50s and the 60s and up generation, but that may not work for those who are 40 and under, right? Who may not be 45 and under. So again, engaging them indifferently than maybe what has been done in the past. And I can say we have been very successful in engaging different generations because we do a variety of different things. We're not set on autopilot. We don't just continue to run the same thing time after time. Thank you.
Let me just say this, those clubs worked. They worked. Just like the 21 clubs in my neighborhood work now in organizations. So when I was a kid in the Nottingham Civic Club, I was a child in the Nottingham Civic. I grew up to be the president of the Nottingham Civic Club. So when we hear this thing about things are changing, I say to you folks in attendance here who are involved in these neighborhood groups, should we just throw them out the door?
You need to change them. You need
Should
to
we
change
throw
them.
them out?
Change them.
Of course, we welcome people in. We want young people in. We want different points of view. I'm committed to rebuilding these civic clubs in New Ward 10. I'm committed. I want to say that right now for the record. I'm committed to rebuilding the Nottingham Civic Club and the Euclid Park Civic Club. It's a tragedy that they fell by the wayside, and they're coming back.
It's a word called variety. So not everything fits for everybody, right? So you have to have different things for different people, right? So if we have just one way to do things, then that's the reason we don't get people involved, because it's only one way. If we have different ways for people to get involved, then maybe we can see more people getting involved. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Everybody breathe in and breathe out.